osmolarity versus tonicity. My goal today is to make sure that you literally never, ever, ever, ever again, ever forget the difference between these. Hello Dr. Humans, welcome back to the channel and today's video, which is all about conquering the concept of osmolarity versus tonicity. Let's jump right in. Okay, so first of all, let's break down osmolarity and then move on to tonicity. So you may remember from your chemistry days that a mole is the term we use to describe the amount of a particular substance within a sample. And this relates to a whole substance. So we can use moles to describe the amount of an atom or an ion within a sample. And equally, we can use it to describe the amount of a compound or entire molecule within a sample. So the mole is referring to the whole particle, whatever that is. And the molar concentration or molarity of a substance within a solution is described in moles per litre. And this is something we're using in our day-to-day lives in clinical practice. We're looking at biochemistry of sodium and potassium and describing them in millimoles per litre. So moles is describing the amount of a particular substance within a solution, but not all molecules are free in solutions. They might be in the beaker with the solution, but they don't necessarily run around inside the beaker. And to describe the particles which are free in solution, we use another term, namely osmolarity. So osmolarity is derived from molarity, but it's only referring to the particles which dissociate in that solution. It's the molarity multiplied by the dissociation factor. So, for example, sodium chloride can be regarded as a single substance. You can get 1 mole of sodium chloride. But if you put that 1 mole of sodium chloride into a solution, the sodium and chloride dissociate, and now you have 2 particles that stand to be counted. So 1 mole of sodium chloride in a solution is equivalent to 2 osmoles. Similarly, 1 mole of magnesium chloride would give you 3 osmoles because in solution there would be 1 magnesium and 2 chloride ions, which completely dissociate. So that's for things that do dissociate, but there are also other substances such as glucose which don't dissociate in solution. Glucose stays as glucose. And so in that scenario, 1 mole of glucose would give you 1 osmole of glucose. So osmolarity is about molar concentration in a solution multiplied by the dissociation factor, which could be 1 or more. Now, I've been using osmolarity here because honestly, I find that easier to pronounce. But there is another term, osmolality, and I just wanted to touch on the difference between those. Ultimately, the only difference between osmolarity and osmolality is the units we use to describe them. Osmolarity is the number of solute particles per litre of solvent. Osmolality is the number of solute particles per kilogram of solvent. But the good news is that when we're talking about the human body, the key solvent is water. And 1 litre of water weighs 1 kilogram. So for our purposes of being Dr. Humans and not industrial chemists, we can just use these terms interchangeably and that's going to be fine. So just pick the one that you find easiest to pronounce and run with that. Okay, so we got moles, we got osmoles, we got osmolarity, we got osmolality. Sorted. Now let's wrap our heads around tonicity. Everything we just said about osmolarity refers to a single container, a beaker, a cell, a compartment. When we talk about osmolarity, we're talking about a particular space, one particular compartment. So when we use this term in medicine, we might talk about plasma osmolarity or urine osmolality. We're talking about one solution, one particular space. Tonicity is a concept which refers to 2 compartments or solutions that are side by side and separated by a semi-permeable membrane. And more specifically, tonicity refers to the ability of a solution to magnetize water into that compartment. And because tonicity is a concept, it's not measured in a scientific unit. Rather, we give it a rating. We rate it as hypertonic, hypotonic, or isotonic. And the more toned it is, the more magnetized water will be towards it by osmosis. So tonicity is about how attractive a solution is to water. And the thing which determines the tonicity are the solutes within that solution which don't move. They don't move through the semi-permeable membrane or cell wall. They just stay in their compartment, so-called non-penetrating solutes. In other words, these solutes play hard to get. They stay on their side of the membrane, waiting for water to chase them. Doesn't this story sound familiar? The higher the tone of the solution, the more the solution is playing hard to get. It's making no moves on water. Water has to make the move, and water can't help but make the move under these circumstances. Let's see this in action in various scenarios. Let's use the classic example of the red blood cell being placed in various solutions. When we talk about tonicity here, we are referring to the solutes within the solution as compared to those inside the red cell, and how much of a pull these solutes have on the water. We can think of the water inside the red cell as being happily married in a very healthy relationship. But place this red cell in a hypertonic solution, and suddenly all the water can see for country miles is this supertoned solution, and it just cannot resist. It will leave its very healthy relationship inside the cell, move out of the cell, causing that cell to shrink and die. On the other hand, if we place that red cell into a hypotonic solution, the water inside the hypotonic solution is very unhappy in its relationship, is looking for somewhere to go. It's looking to the inside of this cell thinking, there's more tone in there. I think I'm going to leave this hypotonic relationship for a better life and see if this married couple are interested in polyamory. So now the water in the hypotonic solution leaves that hypotonic solution behind, enters the cell, but unfortunately this attempt at polyamory is just too much for the cell and the cell explodes. And finally, if we place this cell into an isotonic solution, we'd find that water wouldn't move at all, because now to water, the grass is not greener on the other side of the cell. Both sides of the cell offer very similar things. And so water just stays right where it is in its existing healthy relationship. So all of that to say that tonicity is about the ability of a solution to draw water towards it across a membrane. It always compares two compartments side by side and gives the solution a rating of hypotonic, isotonic, or hypertonic. And this tonicity rating is determined by those non-penetrating solutes. Solutes which cannot move across the membrane. Whilst osmolarity is about the concentration of dissolved substances in one solution or one compartment. It accounts for every single particle in that solution, whether it crosses the membrane or not. And of course, solutes which are able to move across the membrane, otherwise known as penetrating solutes, get counted in osmolarity, but don't contribute to tonicity because they tend to spread themselves equally across compartments and they're not going to pull water in any particular direction. So, to summarize, osmolarity is about the total concentration of all of the solutes within a solution, whilst tonicity is about the osmotic gradient created by those solutes, the ability of those solutes to draw water towards them. I really hope this video helped your studies, and if you would like to learn more about sodium physiology and clinical conditions, I'm running a live event very soon on the 26th of November on all things sodium for your exams, including hyponatraemia, SIADH, diabetes insipidus, all the things, and you are invited. You can expect by coming to this session that you will actually understand sodium once and for all and be able to apply that knowledge to those MCQs and to doctor life. This event is exclusively available within the Renal for the Written programme, along with 16 other incredible learning experiences and counting. So if that sounds like something you need in your life, then go ahead, click the link below and sign up and join us for the Renal for the Written programme. You'll get 12 months of access to the entire programme, and if you sign up before December, you'll also receive a bonus immunology package with your membership. It is high yield indeed, and I hope to see you there. And otherwise, stay tuned here on YouTube for some more high yield learning. Bye.